Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a 4v4 match on the map Nervous System. I'm starting in the top left position, playing as the Allies. For those of you who don't know the map, at the top of the map there's a passage through along the top. In the middle there's a field of gems, but they're guarded by AI mammoth tanks which will attack you. And for the bottom two teams, there's sort of like two bridges either side connecting those teams so they can have maybe some fights earlier on. One thing that's a bad idea in this kind of match is to try and take your construction yard to the middle. As you see, it doesn't quite work. The mammoth tanks will attack you and they just guard the place, so if you get your construction yard out of there, you're going to be okay. But yeah, not something to try. And now back to the game view. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to build some infantry and I'm going to send them straight across the top because I want to get as much visibility along that passage as possible, because as I showed you at the start, there is a way that the teams from the right can get to the left. So we're going to have to be very, very careful and make sure we get as much visibility as possible. Now I do have Matt who's playing in the top right position, and I do know he sometimes builds things like MiGs and goes for early attacks, things like that, and takes out construction yards. So I'm really going to want to get to his side of the map ASAP really, and I'm going to send a couple of infantry just a little bit forward and get a bit more of this map uncovered. At this moment in time we can't see any infantry coming from the top, but there you can see them guarding it. So I'm just going to move my infantry a little bit forward, and you can see I'm on the way with building my war factory. So let's get that placed. I'm going to go on to build a second ore refinery first and build 2 ore trucks, because this is an ore only map for the time being, and there's no way we're going to get to the gems till much later on when we've got enough tanks to fight through those mammoths. And we also need to take care of other teams as well. You can't just go and fight the mammoths because then the other team could attack you. And now we're just getting a bit of visibility, getting a bit of feel, just probing a little bit there just to see if they had lack of defences, and if they'd only had those troops at the front, then I would have probably ran through and tried to get a bit of visibility on the base. And now we're going to be getting our second war factory down, which is going to, of course, increase our tank building speed. We've got 4 ore trucks now. We do have to be careful with ore management because there's not that much ore available to us in this position, and you really do need to get to the gem patch later on in the game. I'm just having a little bit look at my ally who's now building his first war factory. He's obviously had a delayed start because of what happened early on when he tried to go to the middle. He mustn't have known what this map was like. And now we can see Cyan bringing in some more troops. So they're getting quite a big army of infantry at the moment, which won't be a problem when I get a few tanks because I'll be able to squash them. And you can see that Cyan has spread his infantry out, so they'll be harder just to run over. But yeah, I'll still get a few of them. And I'm just taking a tank in. And what I want to do is I want to check that Pink isn't building MiGs. That's the big thing here. And I think we've seen now that there's no MiGs there at the moment. So that's all good. I just wanted to get that assurance first. Otherwise, I would need to get rid of them very, very quickly. And now we can see Cyan taking his light tanks forward. And yeah, we've been able to take out a couple of them, and there the third one looks like it's going to go down, and now we're going to go for the attack. You can see Pink building heavy tanks because he's playing as the Soviets. And now he's trying to pull back a bit, and he's going for a similar strategy as me with the ore trucks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take out some of those ore trucks, and that's going to hurt his economy quite a bit and mean he's not going to be able to build as many tanks. So we've taken out half his economy there by taking out those 2 trucks initially. And now you can see Cyan coming in with the light tanks. There's about 5 of them, but my heavy tanks do seriously outnumber him at the moment, and I'm just following him because what I don't want to do is him to go rushing into my base. And now we're going to go to fight Matt. He's got 4 pink tanks there, but now he's pulling back once again. But as soon as he pulls back, I start attacking his ore trucks, and now we're just going to fight his heavy tanks. And it's looking to go well for us. We've taken out 4 ore trucks, and I think he's built an extra one possibly, because I'll have to check down there. But yeah, we've got those light tanks coming in from Cyan once again. And we're getting quite comfortable here because with the economy for Pink the way it is, I think this is the last ore truck that's going to go down. he's not going to be able to replace these tanks that he's sending in, so hopefully we're going to be okay for the time being. But we can see now Cyan transitioning to the medium tanks, and those medium tanks are probably going to be a little bit better in these tank v tank battles. They do have a lot more HP, so it's a lot harder to destroy than the light tanks, which are quite flimsy and get destroyed quite quickly. But let's see how this fight unfolds. We can see we're taking these tanks out as soon as they come, and what we need to do is we need to get the balance between destroying buildings and Pink out with the Tesla coil. So we're going to need to take that out straight away, because those Tesla coils do a lot of damage if left unchallenged. And the aim here is just to keep my tank numbers up, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to get low on tank numbers, and which could happen if I just went for destroying buildings and then be vulnerable to a counter-attack. So it's all about balance here, and what I'm going to try and do is try and go down to Cyan's base and see if I can destroy any buildings there. Because I can see that Pink is low on ore, so he's not going to have any chance to build much lately. And now we can see Blue coming up to help his teammate. So he's got some 3 medium tanks there, it appears. So we'll just try and take these out first and see if we can break through. But yeah, it looks like they don't have enough tanks to defend at this minute, and it seems we're going to be able to destroy those tanks no problem. I can see the base there with the war factory close by, so hopefully we'll have the opportunity soon to get some structures down for Cyan. And now we're going into the base, but what I see at my own base is some tanks. So those are Chrono tanks. They've managed to go into the back of my base, and unfortunately, well, I don't have eyes everywhere, they managed to do some destruction to some of my buildings. So I've lost a power plant there, and I've also, more importantly, lost my construction yard. So that's pretty bad for me, because it means I can't build any more ore trucks and replace any buildings that I lose now. So now we're going for the attack on Cyan. We're going for that war factory. You can see he's got 2 war factories there, and we're going to try and take both of those out, and that'll mean he's not going to be able to replace any of the tanks he currently has. And yeah, there's the second war factory. It goes down, he sells it, and he's got a light tank out of there, and now we can see him selling some structures. We can also see Red with the MCV. He seems to be bringing north, and now we're going to go for the attack on that ore refinery. He's also sold now, so we can see those ore trucks have stopped moving, and it looks like he's got nothing currently in his base. But what we can see is that Pink is starting to regather his troops, and he's got a couple of ore trucks out now, so he's had to sell some buildings, and he's trying to get back on track. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for an attack on him right now and see if we can destroy those structures and put him permanently out the game. I just thought it was important there to try and get Cyan's buildings down, and Cyan will try and possibly pop up further south, but I don't know if he has the resources to do so. We'll have to wait and see. And now you can see Eric with the MCV there from Red, and we've destroyed that. I think he was trying to take that to my side of the map maybe and just have a pop-up base there possibly. I don't know, but now you can see Blue and Red coming in with tanks, and I'm going to have to regroup and make sure my base is sort of defended. Because you can see that Blue is trying to get in here, but I do have some tanks that have been built by the war factory, so I should be able to stop those Blue tanks before they're able to make it to my base. And we could also see those Cyan infantry, which I'm going to need to deal with first. Small groups of infantry can actually do quite a lot of damage to buildings if left unchallenged, and of course I can't really place any buildings once I lose them. And now we see Red there with those heavy tanks, and now I'm going to just try and destroy them. We'll try and do that, just having a bit of a check of my base there, make sure there's no Chrono tanks there. So let's see how this battle unfolds. You can see that my tank numbers are greater at the time being. I've got medium tanks, heavy tanks are of course a little bit stronger, but there's not that many there. And you can see them being pushed back now, and Blue coming in with those medium tanks as well, and now he's going for those missile launchers of my teammate, and he's been able to take them out, and now we're just destroying those medium tanks. And the tanks from the other team are now on the retreat, but back at my base it looks like it's absolutely disaster. You can see there's Chrono tanks there, there's actually a Tanya in there as well, and I think the Tanya was actually on the screen earlier, which I noticed from the replay, but I didn't see it at the time. And yeah, you can see my base is pretty much destroyed, and I think that was pretty much inevitable. I was getting attacked by too many teams, and yeah, something they were going to get through eventually. So now we're going to go switch to the view of my teammates. So this was what was happening. This basically is just a continuation. So this is exactly the same time as I got knocked out of the game. And if we look at the bottom of the map, what we can see is that my teammates are sort of trying to get to the middle. They're fighting their way through those mammoth tanks. And they seem to be almost on the gem patch. But as you can see down south, there is some MiGs one of my teammates has got. My other teammate's got an information centre, a tech centre, so they should get full map vision at some point. But we can see the team on the other side are now building a navy. And you can see purple is getting their base, part of the base taken out by a Tanya, unfortunately. And you can hear the notifications by one of the other players. I think it's green pointing it out, signalling it. But that Tanya has got the war factory, and that's really, really big before those Tesla tanks were able to get there, because he doesn't have a war factory, he doesn't have a construction yard. If he'd kept his war factory, he would have actually been able to build an MCV, because you can see he had a service depot. So that means that purple is out, sort of, well, he's not out of the game, because he's still got ore trucks collecting ore, and he's still got a barracks. So he's still going to be able to produce infantry, but apart from that, he's not going to be able to produce any more tanks. He's not going to be able to build any more buildings. And just having a look there, you can see blue with the Chrono tank. And that's me pointing out. You can see that's the orange icon, because I was still obviously watching it while this was all going on. And you can see those infantry coming in now, and the tanks coming in to take that Chrono tank out. So he hasn't lost any major buildings there. But what he has to be careful of is they've taken a lot of tanks back, and they should have really had more tanks in that gem patch, because those red tanks could have attacked then, and they would have had the numbers advantage at that point, and he could have done some real damage to the ore refineries there. But now yellow and green are getting those tanks back, and you can see blue's got a few boats, but they're not cruisers, and it's cruisers that are going to do the major damage. But we are on this gem patch, our team, and it looks like the other team possibly are not. But what I can see they're doing is they're sort of establishing themselves in the top right. I can see Eric there with an extra MCV on the radar, but now the heavy tanks are coming in. So it's like heavy tanks and medium tanks, and we've got a couple of missile launchers there. We also had a Tesla coil which has been taken down, because those Tesla coils can make massive differences to these types of tank battles, and it's looking good for my team at the current time. And you can see red now starting to fall back a bit. His tank numbers are starting to get diminished, and the green tanks are starting to get the surround. But blue coming in with those medium tanks just to give his teammate a bit of backup, because it's important that they don't let our team into their base at this point. And now a Tesla coil popping up, and that could do some real damage. So they're going to take that out first, and the battle still rages on. You can see those medium tanks providing a bit of defence, and I think some more boats are coming in possibly. And now another Tesla coil pops up a little further back, and those MiGs able to take them out. So that was quite a good move there, because yeah, MiGs do great damage against things like Tesla coils. They're really good at taking those out. And now another Tesla coil pops up again, and obviously Eric does have a faster building speed from having multiple MCVs, getting those Teslas up, doing a bit of damage to my teammates. And my tank, and now the green's lost his tank mass, he's going to fall back a bit. One thing that's crucial though is that my teammates have now secured the gem patch. It looks like that red and blue aren't going to be able to use that, and that's big, that's really big. And my teammates did need to get it secured, because you can see that red and blue also have a lot of resources in the top right position where they've got bases there. So we did really need to get that gem patch in order to stand a chance and stay in the game. And you can see some paratroopers going there, but red just squashed them with his infantry. But some Tanyas coming in, and that's from purple. So purple can still produce infantry, and he's just running some Tanyas into red's base, and that Tesla coil may be offline, because of course they're very reliant on power. And you can see red has a massive number of ore trucks in that top right position, so they're going to use up that ore very, very quickly. And yeah, it'll be that construction yard just getting deployed by blue and just going down straight away. And there you can see that there's a cyan power plant which is now taken out, and you can see that red MCV trying to squash those infantry who are running away now. The thing is though, now the other team are getting a lot of defences. You can see that blue has a lot of pillboxes, and those pillboxes make it very hard for the Tanyas to be able to get close, because even if the Tanyas do take out the power, the pillboxes can still fire. And now we're having a look at the fight in this gem patch in the middle once again, and you can see red has brought some tanks in, but that's not enough, and those red tanks are going to be taken down. And just having a look at the base of yellow, there was some commotion there. But it looks to be all sorted now. And just having a look at the map, you can see those red Tesla coils still guarding that piece. And blue tries to bring a ore truck into those gems, but it hasn't worked out. And now we can see our teammate yellow going to attack the ore trucks on the ore patch in the top right position. My team do have to be careful here though, because I think there is a cruiser from blue in the middle, so that's doing some damage to buildings. And we can see my teammate purple still mining. Probably what he should do is take some of his ore trucks off, because his tiny production isn't like great enough to warrant the production. He's stacking ore like crazy, and now you can see with those Tanyas, he's took out a couple more buildings, and them getting squashed by those pink ore trucks. And you can see that gem patch is starting to run out now, so it's important that my team are able to deal with the other team. Although they do have some more back home, but I'm having a look here, and it's looking pretty bad. You can see that green has lost his construction yard, so green can't build any more buildings now, because those cruisers have taken it out. They've also taken out his air force, pretty much. I think he's only got about 2 planes left, and it looks like it'll only be 1 soon. So green in a bit of trouble now. He can still build like tanks, but he might be low on power, because there's a couple of power plants that are close to the water there and a bit damaged. And you can see now green sitting on that ore patch trying to destroy those blue ore trucks. And it looks like he's got a lot of them down, so blue may be in a little bit of trouble as well. But yeah, my teammate's having a bit of a hard time at the moment with the base. But I think that blue and red may be in trouble, because if we look at their base, they've got no ore left. So that we might be in a decent position. And now you can see that yellow and blue going into a little battle. They're all both bringing medium tanks in. And we'll have to see what they decide to do, whether they're going to stand to fight. I think yellow's trying to get past, trying to get into the base. Probably what I would have done is, because yellow has more tanks, I would have taken that fight, destroyed those blue tanks, because if they get back into the base, they could do quite a bit of damage. And my teammates don't have that many buildings left, especially green. So yeah, so we'll have to see what goes on here. Are blue going to go to yellow's base? We can see yellow. Even yellow doesn't have a construction yard, so he's going to be in real trouble now. And blue going for the war factory, but yellow is in the team in their bases, just trying to destroy as many buildings as possible. And we'll have to see, is that war factory going to go down? It looks like he might lose 1 war factory. We can see those red ore trucks now stationary, so I don't know whether all their ore trucks on ore refineries have been taken out. And now yellow's ore refinery is in trouble, and its ore refinery has been taken out, and those ore trucks have stopped moving. So that means anything that yellow loses now is going to be out of the game and non-replaceable. But now we can see in blue and red space, we've got Tanyas in there, we've got yellow tanks in there, and it doesn't look like they've got anything to defend with. And I think this is pretty much good game. So it was quite close in the end. All of our team don't have construction yards now, but we still have some buildings. I guess yellow and purple have no tank production. It's only green at this point, and I guess yellow has no ore collection either, but taking out the last of the opponent's buildings. So yeah, that was quite a hectic game. There was like a lot of back and to and fro, and it looked like it was touch and go at points to who could win. I did get taken out early on, but I think that was inevitable. I was in combat with too many teams. I was obviously fighting the 2 teams in the top right, and when they were almost taken out, then I was starting to get attacked from the teams from the bottom right. And it was also the attacks in the back of my base, when you're trying to fight tank battles at the front of your base, and then you have things coming in from the back, like a Tanya, and also Chrono tanks. It's really hard to defend. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind this forwards, because you can see they just had to find that airfield, which they finally, of course, did. And that is good game. I will get to see the stats now. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.